Okay, how do I start this? I went to watch Wicked today and it was so good. I really, really, really love the movie. I have actually listened to songs from the Wicked musical, but I haven't actually watched the musical or read the book or known of any of the lore. So it was my first time going into the theater and going to watch it. It was so good. Oh my gosh. I come bearing many good things to share about the movie, but also one bad thing that I didn't like. Yeah, for those of you who don't know what Wicked is a musical turned live action movie which Ariana Grande is acting in, and it's based on the book Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West, and it's about the unlikely friendship of two witches, Galinda or Glinda and Elphaba. The reason it is unlikely is because they are complete and utter opposites. Glinda is a good witch, and she was always the popular girl. So wherever she goes, she's loved, she's stunning, she's absolutely beautiful, she's Ariana Grande. On the other hand, Elphaba is an outcast. She was born of a secret affair and she was born with green skin. And because of this, she has been bullied ever since she was born. Her father didn't even want her and wanted to throw her away. Her little sister is always viewed as more important than her, and everyone laughed and bullied her for her green skin and called her wicked. But Elphaba had a secret talent that distinguished her from everyone else. She had the ability to do really powerful sorcery when her emotions are out of control. Whenever she feels very strongly about something, then her emotions break loose and a spell just shoots out from her. So when she was younger, when kids bullied her, she's able to levitate rocks that she can throw at the kids to defend herself. And as she grew older, she became more and more powerful, which allowed her to catch the attention of a professor at Shiz. If you know anything about Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, Wicked is basically the prequel of that and explains how Elphaba became the Wicked Witch of the West and Glinda became Glinda the Good. I will go into more plot spoilers later on because I'm going to talk about one thing that ruined how perfect the movie is for me. So if you want to avoid spoilers, then go watch a movie or musical and then come back. First, the things I really liked about the movie. Why is Glinda so good at flirting? I was literally blushing through the screen while I was watching because she's so good. Like the entire sequence of how Fiyero came to be a student in Shiz and Glinda pretended to be a new student tour guide to greet Fiyero was just so perfect. Like the smooth initial greeting and then going to the other side of the bulletin board and then pretending to read a book and then pretending to be a new student tour guide. I'm like, oh my gosh. Why are they so good at bantering? This is insane. I also really loved how the movie utilized showing rather than telling. So, for example, when Elphaba came to the school party that everyone was hosting and she was being mocked by the other students, I was sitting on the edge of my seat saying, Glinda, please, please, please root for Elphaba because you, as the most popular girl, if you just say that Elphaba is your friend, then she'll be liked again or she won't be scorned at. Oh, Glinda, please speak up. But what Glinda did was even better than just speaking up. She started dancing with Elphaba and imitating the moves that the students were laughing at Elphaba for. And because of that, she slowly converted what was being mocked into something that was being popularized. Another great use of showing rather than telling is when there was a goat professor called Dr. Dalaman who taught history at Shiz. When Dr. Dalaman was teaching history about how animals had become oppressed, he flipped over his board and saw that someone must have written, "Animals should be seen and not heard." He was extremely upset and dismissed the entire class. I was so happy when Elphaba stayed behind to comfort Dr. Dillamond, but if it were just me using my awkward talking skills, I would probably just say, like, I am so sorry that happened to you, this is really terrible, and things like that, which is just words, right? But the way Elphaba comforted Dr. Dillamond was not like saying, oh, I am sorry for you, I feel sorry for you, is that she went to pick up the broken glass of flowers that Dr. Dillamond had knocked off in his fit of rage, helped him put it back into the case, and then just was there for him. Is because like she probably herself understands that, oh, when someone is being ostracized and cast out like these animals, empty words don't mean anything. That was such a good moment of the show. I thought the singing was also really good. Obviously, Ariana Grande is a singer, and then the entire cast were also very good at singing. There was also the guy who voice acted SpongeBob, and needless to say, the cast was stacked. The scenery in the entire movie was also really amazing. Just like the Emerald City, the beautiful university, the Golden Road which led to Oz, the animal characters in the story were all so beautiful. The songs that I had been looking for, like Popular and also Defying Gravity, were so good. And ever since the movie stopped, I've been going through the Wicked musical playlist and adding all the songs that I hadn't listened to before into my own playlist. Now, there was one thing I really hated about the movie, and yes, I know hate is a very strong word here, but what I really dislike about Wicked is the love triangle between Glinda, Elphaba, and Fiyero. My main problem is I don't know why Elphaba likes Fiyero. I don't know how that arc came to be. Like, I can see how they are trying to go with it, but I don't think the connection is strong, and I really don't think the real character would have fallen for Fiyero. To give more context, Fiyero is a prince, so he's super hot, super strong, and he shows up out of nowhere. Within the movie, he does meet Elphaba first before he meets Glinda, and it was in a very dark forest. Fiyero almost ran over Elphaba. They had a conversation of Glinda's skin, and then Fiyero kind of like joked around it. Right, there seems nothing out of the ordinary. He's just another person who's curious about her skin. Elphaba's second encounter with Fiyero was in the library, where she was studying, and then Fiyero threw a huge fuss around the library and was super loud, and then was like dancing around life. You know, typical bad boy behavior. Elphaba is studious and even said, oh, I want to study somewhere else because Fiyero is so freaking loud. That was honestly, genuinely the only main interactions they had before the movie kind of confirmed that Elphaba had feelings for Fiyero. Because during a time when Elphaba was casting a spell to put everyone to sleep, her spell caused every single person to sleep except for Fiyero. Even Glinda fell asleep, and Glinda at that time was friends with Elphaba already. Despite that, Fiyero was the one who stayed awake with Elphaba. That was when, there was a little bit of slight chemistry, or just like slight, I guess Fiyero is not such a shallow person. He's not just like a dashing, handsome bad boy. Like, he actually has some depth in his heart and he can think for himself. But that just seems weird that why would Elphaba's subconscious even allow Fiyero to stay awake at that time? Especially after Elphaba's new best friend Glinda was like, oh, I'm gonna marry Fiyero. He's gonna be my future husband. I love him so much. Why would Elphaba's, think about Fiyero? I'm not saying it is impossible, of course, because honestly, love is very strange. Like, you can be attracted to someone and genuinely don't know why. And Fiyero is very handsome. Maybe Elphaba is just attracted to hot men. But it really seemed to come out of nowhere, and the story, like the way the story was set up, it made it feel like Elphaba didn't like Fiyero that much, and all the traits that Fiyero had displayed before the time where her subconscious kind of chose Fiyero is like Fiyero was a very shallow guy who was like the opposite of what she stood for. It didn't make sense to me why she would fall for Fiyero. I also don't really understand why Fiyero likes Elphaba back, mainly because I didn't see any spark of chemistry. Like, I can sense understanding and things like that, but I really don't sense anything romantic. Like, I kind of find Fiyero's feelings towards Elphaba to be one of curiosity. Oh, like, this girl with green skin is so unafraid of speaking out, and he's like, wow, she's everything I secretly wished I could be, I guess. Like, I could see that side of appeal, but I don't sense romantic interest. Like, I feel like, okay, this is appreciation. I think she's cool. And maybe deep down he's not that shallow, but I just like I feel like their love triangle came out of nowhere. Man, okay, that's my hot take. So there you go. Let me know your theories or thoughts if you've watched the movie. See you next time.